Okay, let's get started there, folks. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strangebird Jim, and we're going to be getting back into Pega. Pega studying for today. Um, we'll be doing our hour afterwards of just chatting, and then, of course, we got Warframe after that. Uh, now, I want to. Uh, I just want to say I had to. I wanted to take. I took a little bit of a break yesterday. I didn't stream, so there's probably going to be a little bit of a gap. Or obviously there's going to be a day off kind of thing from Pega upload. So hopefully you didn't uh, that didn't disturb you too much. But yeah, I was just um, after the past couple days, I was like, you know what, some, I needed to kind of take a step back and take a relaxing day for myself. So, um, like I said, hopefully, no one's too upset about that. Um, but um, Wednesday and Thursday were just both kind of like it had just felt off to me. It just had some very weird interactions, and um, I was um, I wasn't feeling like hopping online at all. So, like I said, hopefully everybody's okay with that. Don't want to, beat, don't want people like being super disappointed or anything along those lines. It's just, yeah. Uh, so, um, we are going to be going into the managing application development here, and we are going to be um, going on to the module, seeing that we've already worked on the agile development best practices. We took care of that last time, so we're going to be working on the module quiz today. Um, and then if we have some time, we'll move on to the challenge afterwards. Now, uh, bear in mind, um, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you're welcome to kind of skip ahead a little bit because I'm going to basically be repeating the exact same thing that I normally like to repeat, which is this, um, yeah, this is basically my self-study session of trying to get to the system architect certification. I'm still putting this up for on YouTube, so maybe others can get some amount of benefit from, you know, some of the examples that I talk about. Maybe you'll appreciate me voicing some of the topics and whatnot. Um, so maybe you are getting some benefit from these videos as well. I would hope so. Uh, but these are not endorsed by Pega at all. Um, Pega doesn't really know about this or anything along those lines, and so um, they're I've got no endorsement from them on this whatsoever. Okay, so this is my own work through of trying to get the system architect certification. Now, um, along with that system architect certification is the possibility of the business architect certification as well. Um, it has very similar topics, in the sense that it has both of the um, first two um, missions that are available, and um, so seeing that we're covering both of those missions, we're pretty much covering the business architect certification as well, or working towards that business certification as well. Um, Now, um, there are two separate modules um, that business architect has that system architect doesn't. But then again, system architect has a lot more modules and challenges afterwards itself. So I'm going to go ahead and work on those business architect modules when I reach it, when I'm done with the second mission. But I want to, um, I want to address that so people understand the possibilities, right? I may try to take both of the certification tests myself in hopes of being certified. My main goal is the system architect, but you know, I may try for the business architect as well, just to see if I can um, get the certification there, you know, just to have on hand. Okay. Now, um, this I will say I'm not an authorized training partner. Don't consider me one, please. I am just someone, you know, a software developer that is just trying to get their certification in Pega. So, so don't think of me as a trained partner. Okay. Don't consider this an instructor-led training. If you can afford instructor-led training, then do so. Um, you know, I personally can't right now, and um, I've had a my company-based instructor training, which was rough, but I mean, um, the um, well, not it was it wasn't as thorough as what I would think that it should have been. So we asked questions and they weren't answered. So we typically had to either try to find the answers ourselves, or um, we had to ask other instructors to get those answers. And well, obviously that's not the greatest. One would hope that instructor-led training by Pega itself would be better. I mean, if you're paying 5,400 for a training session, you better be getting your money's worth out of it. Okay. Um, so I would expect instructor-led training by Pega itself to be worth the money that you paid for it. Okay. But I don't know. Okay. Um, so, um, so yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know about that to start off with. Okay. I try to give that at the very beginning every single time so that no one comes in thinking that I'm some kind of trainer of some kind. So, I don't want people making that uh, making the wrong um, assumption. So, okay. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's go into the module quiz. So let's start. It's 5 minutes, so it shouldn't be that long of a quiz, long of a test, I would imagine. Yeah, I know the three questions. which is kind of unfortunate. You would think that, there's a lot of concepts that they probably could have expanded upon here, but oh well. Select two use cases supported by Agile Workbench. Lead developer creates a new application for the development team. I don't think no, I don't think that works. You need to adjust the due date for several user stories. Okay, that sounds like something that you could probably do in the Agile Workbench. Project team discusses how many application developers are needed and reports back to the stakeholders. Um, hmm. I don't know if that's really needed by the Agile Workbench. I don't think that's something that is um, like a part of the Agile Workbench per se. I think it's more this one. During the peer review, the reviewer discovers and records an application bug. I believe that you can do that. So let's see. Feedback. Yeah. Okay. It's it's about tools to work with the application. You know. Um, So, project team discusses how many application developers and reports to stakeholders. I mean, you could still kind of do that in meetings and stuff like that, but, you might not necessarily need that within the Pega Agile workbench. Um, and same thing with the Agile workbench here. Creating a new application doesn't take much. You know, you do a new application, bam, there it goes. Okay. What you do afterwards, however, you might need the Agile workbench. What all are you going to be putting in said new application? What are the stages? What are the processes? What are the users? Um, what are the stories for the application? That kind of thing. Um, so you don't necessarily need the Agile workbench to create a new application. Select two ways you use Agile Workbench to add details to bug and feedback items. Um, use the integrated screen capture tool. Okay, I guess. Record the bugs and feedback of the case lifecycle step descriptions. I don't know if you really want to do that. Oh boy. I don't know why you would need the audio recording tool. So, I believe the two would be these because you could be you can record um, your steps that you're doing to get from one step to the next through the recording, or you can just kind of capture like one particular screenshot. I would imagine that both of those should be available. Yeah, audio makes no sense. Unless you have an application that has audio, but um, that's not a common. That wouldn't be too common, I would imagine. Um, so not something that might be like, um, you'd probably need to like maybe add in um like an extension of the workbench or something like that to handle audio recording or something like that. So I wouldn't see that as like a normal one to do. Um, And you wouldn't want to record bugs and feedback in descriptions because descriptions are shown, um, Like whenever you hover over the step or something like that, it kind of shows you the information about it. So why would you want to show the bugs and feedback of that step in the description? No, you want that. So okay, select the two correct statements about work items and work in the Agile Workbench. Okay, development backlog includes user stories, bugs, and tasks. Okay, yeah. User stories are the primary work items. Mm, I mean, yes. Major bugs are typically deferred. No, I don't think so. Feedback items are feature and enhancement requests. No. I'm kind of leaning to both of those right now. Um, because feedback might not necessarily be feature enhancements. It might be corrections. Okay, like, oh hey, you um, messed up on your spelling or something like that. And major bugs are not deferred. I don't know why you, you shouldn't be deferring major bugs. So that's why I'm kind of leaning no on both of those. And well, I was apparently wrong. Okay. Tasks are not part of the development backlog in the Agile Workbench. Okay. Um, well, I mean, major bugs should not be typically deferred. I don't, or at least I hope that's not the right answer. So, yeah. Okay. So, unfortunately, with that third question, I would have gotten it wrong. So that would have been, if, you know, would have gotten 2 out of the 3 questions correct on the certification. So not not great, but got to do what you got to do. Just keep on looking at everything, studying everything, and hopefully you'll be able to get to where you need to go. Okay. Now this one is supposedly 30 minutes long. It's apparently a very long. Um, this is a fairly long development process here. So um, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it all today now that I only have about 30 minutes left as well, but I mean we can definitely try, right? If it gets too long, then obviously I'll be pushing the video back a little bit more to handle it. So unless of course I encounter a lot of problems. If I do, then I'll have to cut it short and um, push this on to tomorrow's. So stakeholders at the GoGo Road want to develop a new roadside assistance application to streamline applications for customer roadside assistance requests. Using the scope for the minimum level product, MLP, and the incremental releases, stakeholders want to track the current progress of the assistance request case type and determine the highest priority functionality to develop in the future. To facilitate progress tracking, stakeholders and the Pega team have identified and prioritized a product backlog. To prepare for development, the business architect (BA) must populate the backlog and update the user stories to include the feature, Subfeature, owner, and due date. GoGo Road uses Agile Workbench to manage and prioritize the work. The team creates the user stories in an Excel spreadsheet specifically formatted for Agile Workbench import. Use the Excel spreadsheet to import user stories and populate the backlog. Alright. The Excel spreadsheet was created from a template. For more information, see populating story templates. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and launch the instance there. We're going to go ahead and grab our username and password. There we go. And I'll mention again, I don't normally use the challenge walkthroughs unless, of course, I'm having some difficulties. Um, like the mission exercise, you know, that kind of required me to go through the challenge walkthrough. I don't really want to, but if the descriptions aren't really that helpful, then I'm gonna have to refer to it. Now, I'll try not to, but like I said, I'll see what I can do. Um, all right. Importing user stories is just one way to populate a backlog. You can populate a backlog by connecting to existing repositories such as Jira or Agile Studio, or by capturing user stories with the Agile Workbench. Down the Excel GoGo Road user stories for DPP workbook to your desktop. All right. Yep, you can see that, I got it downloaded. In the App Studio, in the upper right corner of the browser window, click the bolt icon to open the Agile Workbench tool. Okay. Um, in the Agile Workbench tool in the upper right-hand corner, click the Add icon to display a list of actions. From the list, click Import Stories to display the Import Stories window. So, Import Stories. All right. Um, in the Import Stories, click Choose File to open the file browser. Now, I'm gonna hide my hide this real quick. Just in case. I don't know if it's gonna um, show like any sensitive data or something like that when I do the choose file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go into webcam only real quick. I'll select the file. I don't necessarily want to take the chance of um, you know, I don't necessarily want to take that chance of like, showing anything like in my personal life that, don't really need to show you guys. So, you know, um, but let's go ahead and go back to live because I got it selected. So as you can see, choose files done. Got the Excel spreadsheet there. So we're just gonna go ahead and um, right, okay. Click open to add the file to the import stories dialog box, which is something that I already did. In the lower right hand corner of the import stories dialog box, click the import to import the file. The imported stories may be displayed in a different order. So we're importing the stories. Now, um, it might be a good idea for you to, if you're watching this, look through um, look through that Excel spreadsheet and see about, how it's kind of structured and the like, because obviously there's a lot of potential stories here. So, um, all right. Okay, so that's all done. Like I said, it might be in a different order, so you don't necessarily need to worry too much about that. So, add features and subfeatures to the application. In the Agile Workbench tool in the upper right-hand corner, click the More icon, and from the menu, select Application Profile to display the Application Profile landing page. So, there we go. All right. Um, at the top of the dashboard, click the Feature Map tab. In the Feature Map tab, in the Features section, double-click the Assistance Request to open the Assistance Request feature. Let's go ahead and close that. Don't need that anymore. It's taking its time, but it'll get there. Okay, they said Feature Map, right? Yeah, Feature Map. And then double-click the Assistance Request feature to open the Assistant. Uh, so there we go. Uh, in the subfeatures section, click the plus icon to display the create feature window and add a new subfeature. Hmm. Window doesn't really scale very well there. Okay. In the create feature window in the name field, enter a notification. In the lower right corner of the create feature window, click create to close the window and add the new subfeature. Repeat steps 4 through 6 to add the remaining assistance request features, setup, and service. So, we got notification, we got setup, and we have service. There we go. Associate a feature and owner to the user stories. In the pane in the Agile Workbench tool, select the specify issue user story in the list to open the user story. User stories may appear in different order. So, uh, um, so we are looking for a specify issue. Okay, here's a lot there. Um, you can also select user stories from the application profile in the work items section of the feature map. Okay. Um, But wait, it's not really there though. Um, you can also select user stories from the application profile, which, I mean, we are in right now, in the work items section of the feature map. I'm in the feature map, work items. There's 0 there. I mean, should there be items here? Because I'm not really seeing it. If you select a user story from the to-do list, you may encounter a loading error for the associated feature and attachments fields. This is a known issue that will be addressed in a future release. Hmm. Um, well, here's the problem is that um, I'm not seeing the user stories here. So I'm thinking, let me go ahead and take a screenshot of this. It's a large image here, but I wanted to kind of get everything so that, you know, they understand that, um, you know, so that, you know, they can kind of see that I'm not like messing up per se on this. So, um, let's see, part 3, step 2, note above. In part 3, right above step 2, there is a note about selecting let's see, um, selecting a user story from the work list. Um, uh, Work list for the in the feature map or application and application and profile feature map. However, in the image included, there is nothing shown in the work items. You can see in the image that there are 0 work items. So was there a step missed here? Do I need to refresh the page somehow? Um, um, how do I see the work items? Um, uh, work item slash stories. Alright, alright. Not sure what's going on there, you know. Um, but I mean, it's like, wait, not really getting that. So, all right. In the open user story in the associated feature field, click the down arrow to open the available feature list. Okay, so um, it was the specify feature, right? Yeah, or specify issue. Um, associated feature. Okay, from the list to the right of the assistance request field, click the arrow to display the subfeatures. Click the notification subfeature to display the select option. Alright, so assistance request, notification, and that's when I select that, right? Right. Alright, now work items is still 0 here, so, but I haven't saved it yet, so Um, below the associated feature field in the owner field, select and enter or select the user story owner name. For this exercise, the owner is author at GoGo Road. So there we go. In the due field, click the calendar icon to display a calendar. Select the future due date. Selecting the date closes the calendar window. So select the future date. There you go. Due date selected. Um, In the lower right corner of the Agile Workbench tool, click Save to save the configuration. Okay, so save. Now it's showing the work items. So, um, so this is a little premature, I would imagine. Um, this should probably be more after this or after step 9 here. You know, should put the note down here instead of up there, I would imagine. Just saying. Or at least maybe like split the two apart or something like that. Um, like maybe can you know split this, into two separate notes. Put this down below here. So, all right, repeat steps 1 through 9 to display the remaining user stories using the values set out in the following tables. So I got to go through all these others here. So enter customer um, information. Assistance request notification. So, and then author. Okay, enter location notification. So, same information here. There we go. Same thing for vehicle information. There we go. And then payment information, same thing. Okay. There's that. That's all done. And now we do verify coverage setup and then author. So we want uh, verify coverage. Um, we want assistance request and setup. So assistance request and setup. And of course we have the same author. Why we have the same, we have the owner for all 5 of these stories, I don't really know, but I mean, it is what it is. All right. So, so we got done with all that. So, now our work items has, the specified issue plus the other additional 5. So, they probably should have like shown a picture of like the completed, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So, um, all right. So, in the Agile Workbench tool in the upper right-hand corner, click the Add icon to display a list of actions. From the list, click Create Story and add a new must-have priority user story. I'm not quite sure if this is like a name that I have to use but create story. I'm assuming name has to be changed into must have. Um, hmm. Oh, okay. It's a priority must have. They really should have not had this italics here. Um, they could have just said add a new user story, and that's it. They could have just left it at that because this right here, add a new must-have priority. I mean, you're already addressing it down there, so that just kind of confused me a little bit on that. So, Alright, so I have to add in the name here. Oop, let's make sure that I copy everything properly. It's a long name, but I mean, it is what it is. We have the description here. There we go. Associated features, assistant request, and to service. So there we go. Author, any date in the future. So owner is author. Due date is in the future. There we go. Complexity is medium, priority is must-have. So complexity is medium, priority is must-have. Um, Acceptance criteria. Service manager can view the service cost when reviewing the completed service. Customer receives an email containing the total cost of service. Um, hmm. Oh, okay. I guess I have to add in each one of these separately. Probably should have like addressed this a little bit more instead of kind of making us guess what the acceptance criteria is all about. You know, what is the acceptance criteria? Um, does it talk about acceptance criteria at all? Anywhere else? No, it doesn't. Um, let's see. Acceptance. Um, Criteria is a bit vague in step 4. Um, do I add both sentences into the acceptance into a single acceptance criteria? Do I need to put the two sentences into their own AC? Um, uh, what is AC? Um, Not sure if that was fully explained. Um, maybe a note about what it is might help. Um, maybe a note about what it is might help. Um, Alright, let me just go ahead and add those in. I believe it was step 4 that I was looking at, right? For the, yeah. Um, I do want to, hold on a second. I want to check something here. Because, I mean, we just did the managing application development, right? So, maybe acceptance criteria was maybe it was referred to in like previous topics, but was never like, fully addressed at all. Um, okay, there's acceptance criteria there, but I mean that's barely anything. Um, you're not really addressing. I mean, it's only addressed once here, and that's it. So that's not much. Um, yeah, it's not even in the previous module. So um, just looked back at the previous module prior to this challenge and found only one brief mention of acceptance criteria. Um, uh, maybe add a little more to the module to address more about what it is and what it is there for. Um, Otherwise, we can only make assumptions, which is typically bad. All right. Okay, so that's that. Um, okay, so I'm assuming that I have to click yes or save to save all the information here because they don't outright state it here, but um, um, click the middle priority dot to change the new user story to nice to have. Um, okay, so I really don't like the fact um, that they kind of separated step four and step five into separate um, pieces of information here. Um, because um, you know, I mean, it wasn't until I looked down here to know that, they are really still kind of continuing what you did in step four. So, um, um, the transition, I'm spelling that, sorry about that. There we go. From step four to step five is confusing at first. You aren't saving what you did in step four, nor is step five really addressing that you should have the newly created um, story still open. Um, maybe have um, the uh, person doing the challenge save step step four, and then you can have them go back into the newly created step or newly created story in step five. Um, Otherwise, I had to look at this screenshot provided and the challenge to realize that you are still on the same story. All right. Okay, so we're changing this back to nice to have apparently. Um, and then we are clicking save to change the priority, and that's it. Um, so I mean, they really should have had me kind of go back in here to change the priority afterwards. But okay, so everything should be fine here. So uh, in the pane on the Agile Workbench tool, click the More icon and then select Application Profile to access the Application Profile landing page. Um, okay, so um, there we go. On the landing page, in the Feature Map tab in the Features section, double-click the Assistance Request feature. Okay, so Feature Map tab in the Features section, double-click the Assistance Request feature to view the Assistance Request subfeatures. In the Subfeatures section, confirm that the subfeatures you created are listed. Notification Setup Service. There we go. Notification Setup Service. In the Work Items section, confirm that the user stories all indicate ownership by author at GoGo Road. The author at GoGo Road ownership is indicated by the letter A in the blue circle as shown in the following image. So they really should have changed that a little bit more instead of having just one particular author. Change it up. Allow for like different, users here than just author. Um, click 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 each subfeature to confirm that the list of user stories adjusts to only the stories associated with the subfeature. Okay, so those are the 5 there. The setup there. And we have the service there. In the service subfeature, confirm that the user story you created is in the to-do list, which, um, you know, it is. So, and then of course we verify the challenge. I'm going to make one last suggestion to them concerning the author here. So we're just going to verify. Ooh, enter customer information user story associated feature field to set to notification owner set to. Huh? Um, enter customer information. Um, okay, hold on a second. Oh, I forgot to set the date for all these. That's right. Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. I messed up there. I gotcha. I need to fix all that. So, thankfully, the fact that it's showing the fact that, all these are under author allows for me to kind of go back through this and verify that, it is indeed, everything's kind of been, set with the dates and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, still need to do that one. So messed up there. Oh well. Um, and I already have a due date there, so don't necessarily need to worry about that. So, okay. That was wrong of me. I gotcha. Now the verify challenge should work. There we go. Okay. Um. Okay. Um. Uh, one suggestion that I would make is to have 2+ users to assign to so that you can see the 2+ users at the end of the challenge and not just only author. Um, allows you to show um, that it can be different, that it doesn't have to be a single user to assign stories to. Not that you really implied, but it is good to show. All right, there we go. All right, so that challenge is done. So we are going to go ahead and close on down for the Pega section of our stream here. We are going to be moving on to the next module after this, um, the sizing of the Pega platform project. So we'll work on that tomorrow. Um, feel free to work on that agile workbench a little bit more because it felt like I barely scratched the surface of this challenge, really. Um, and um, I mean, if your company uses it, which mine didn't, or at least the one that I worked at last time didn't really use the agile workbench at all, which is kind of a shame that they didn't, but um, you would think that uh, with it kind of built in, they could try to use that a little bit more, but um, it might be something that your company might use in the future. So, um, and obviously, when you're creating user stories, assigning users, creating um, a list of what, jobs, tasks they need to work on, and so on and so forth, you're gonna need to really understand what the Agile Workbench is all about. So if you're watching this right now, I would suggest really kind of study this Agile Workbench a lot, get to understand it a little bit more, get to use it a little bit more. Um, I would imagine, or it would probably be a good thing if we had this like in later challenges, other steps that we could do, but I doubt that they're going to be bringing this back up. Um, so it's, if you're watching this right now on like YouTube or Twitch right now, um, you know, make sure to kind of go over this a little bit more because it might it might be worthwhile, especially one on the job. Um, so yeah, that's going to be it on that. Um, we are going to go ahead and close on down for our Pega stream at this point. So so just wanted to kind of address that. Um, so yeah, that's going to be it. So if you made it this far through the video, please do all the normal YouTube stuff at the very end. If you are watching this on YouTube, um, would appreciate all the support that you can give me. So, um, everything, that you can do, that would be really helpful. Feel free to check out the other playlists that I have, coding and gaming alike, you know, um, you know, hopefully I can provide some amount of entertain entertainment or knowledge. Um, maybe. But yeah, that's going to be it for this. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down the recording.